It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello. All right, my engineer is kind of, I don't know what he's doing in the back there. All right, what's happening, everybody? Showtime, the Geno Jones Showtime. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast. So here at the Charleston, South Carolina Metro, up in New York, Philly, maybe in Newark, down in Miami, in Atlanta, Birmingham, Eastern Time. It is 6:30, maybe 6:30, almost 6:32 going on now. Chicago, we come on at 5:30 Central Time, so Chi-Town, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. I see you, St. Louis, Memphis checking in, everybody down in Houston. Dallas is on Central Time. One of my favorite cities, New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi. Out on the West Coast, live in Los Angeles, we come on at 3:30 p.m. LA, the Bay Area, Oakland, San Francisco, up in Seattle, Portland, Oregon. Shout out to my firstborn daughter, Lauren Shiana Hill Vaughn, my son-in-law, Jonathan, in Brooklyn, the Bulldog. Out on the West Coast, we come on at 3:30. Please subscribe, share, screen grab. Now, if you know what that means, like rip or like record, snatch some of the video of the show and make it go viral. You can chop it up, get about a 30-second bite or maybe a 60-second little piece of it, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, the whole damn show. It's okay with me. And make it go viral. Put it up on all your platforms, whatever you got. Hey, create a YouTube short right here. Speaking of subscribers, so I have a new subscription goal. 1,000 new subscribers. So for all my influencers, and if there's some influencers that's watching, and I know you guys do, shout at me because I got some business for you. Speaking of business, I would love to have you, if you would like to be an advertiser or a sponsor on the Geno Jones Show, just email me. My Gmail is GenoJonesShow@gmail. GenoJonesShow@gmail. And my influencers, you can reach me at that email. I got some business for you. So 1,000 new subscribers is my goal, roughly in the next 60 days, because October, the month of October, will mark the 4-year anniversary of the Geno Jones Show. So subscribe, share, spread the word, screen grab, rip the video, copy and paste the link, and you can share it. You can paste the link of the show in an email, in a text message. It doesn't matter. Tag everybody you know, share it on their pages and your page too. We're all good. And one more thing, make sure, give me your comment. Please leave your comment on this show. In the comment section, I want you to comment on each and every show. And if you're watching me live right now or anytime, I have a chat room. That means you can talk to me or my guest live on camera. You can just post your question or your comment in the chat room, and we, depending on my guest, will talk to you. I will talk to you live on camera. I'll answer your questions. We can have a conversation. If you want to get into a debate, you want to argue, however you want to do it, I'm good. I'm 10 toes down. I can handle any way you want it. I can give it to you. So make sure you do that. So make sure, and if you're watching, let me know where you are, where you're watching. Not just if you're watching at home or in your barbershop or your hair salon. Back in the old days, we called it the beauty salon. The barbershop and the beauty salon. Now it's the hair salon. Or maybe you're watching at work. Or are you at the airport? At your gate, waiting on a flight? It doesn't matter. And then let me know, or just at home, let me know where, like what city are you watching the show from. But please join the conversation or start a conversation in my chat room when we are on camera live. Right here, the Geno Jones Show, streaming it live on the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. All right, I got a guest coming up. This brother's got a compelling story, and he is running to be, as a matter of fact, he's running to be the sheriff for one of our counties here. And he's running as a write-in candidate, but he's got an incredible story. And we've got some really disturbing stories about law enforcement engaging in criminality. So we're going to talk about that. But you've heard me talking about the case with Sonia Massey. And then there's a new case that actually happened a year ago that's just now getting attention, not just in the news, but in the culture. A young woman who was Takaya Young, 21-year-old, was 25 months pregnant. We're going to get back to that shortly, and that will be my intro into my guest, who's running to be sheriff here in Charleston County, South Carolina. Happy birthday today, August 14th. Halle Berry, Halle Berry. Remember that song? Halle Berry, Halle Berry. I forgot which rapper made that song. A little silly ass song, but it was catchy. Halle Berry, Halle Berry. Miss Halle Berry, she was in Boomerang. She's been in so many movies. Oh my God. She was a Catwoman. She was in this movie Swordfish with John Travolta. She won an Academy Award, Best Actress for Monsters Ball, but y'all did it wrong, because why did she have to just, y'all had her as a drug addict, and she was just having sex, with this racist. It's like, how y'all do black women? Just when you do she got to be a drug addict and sleeping with a racist to get a damn Academy Award. But listen, Hally, I'm sure you said, look, I'll take it any way I can get it. So she made history for her role in Monsters Ball. Miss Halle Berry, 58 today. Also celebrating a birthday, one of my favorite comedic actresses. Back in the day, it was a TV show called 227. Marla Gibbs and Jack K. Harry. And then she was on a TV show, it was on ABC. Then it was on the WB network called Sister. Tia and Tamara Mowry. She was like their TV mom. So Jack A. Harry is 68 today. And the greatest point guard, Steph Curry, is not a point guard. He plays point guard, but you can't even define. He's just the greatest shooter of a basketball. But the greatest point guard of all time, don't argue. Look, you can want to start an argument, jump in my chat room if you want to, but listen, there's really no debate. The greatest point guard God ever created. Went to Michigan State University, 5-time NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers, won a national championship in college back in the day, beat the brakes off Larry Bird and his Indiana State University team. He is a 2-time inductee into the Basketball Hall of Fame as a player and as a member of the 92 Dream Team. I'm not going to get into that conversation. If the 92 Dream Team could beat the 2024 Avengers, because LeBron said that's what they called themselves, him and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. But anyway, and he's turned out to be a very successful businessman, probably a billionaire. I think Irvin is a low-key billionaire. I'm talking about one Irvin Magic Johnson, Irvin Johnson Jr., a.k.a. Magic Johnson, 65 today. Happy birthday to all those Leos out there doing their thing. All right, so today, it's time for what's in Project 2025. So I've been talking about this Project 2025, which is a 922-page blueprint, basically to turn our democracy into a dictatorship and to give the dictator unlimited power, neutralize, cancel out the power of Congress, and basically to return us to like a pre-Jim Crow era. Like take us back like 200 years where racism, discrimination would be legal again. And I talked about it. As a matter of fact, I got into it yesterday. So if you missed yesterday's show, after this episode, go back and check it out. But basically, it is just to promote white Christian nationalism and to make sure that the only people who have rights, and don't take my word for it, you can find Project 2025. Now, they were so bold with it, they were saying it with their full chest stuck out on their website, project2025.org. They invited you to download the entire 922 pages. You can download it in a PDF form on your computer. Well, after Vice President Kamala Harris got all the momentum and the juice, Now all of a sudden, it's not up there. And certain people who we refer to on the show as Orange Hitler, he's like, oh no, I have nothing to do with that. Liar, liar, liar. And if your mouth is moving, and if your mouth is open, even when it sounds like you took your dentures out when you were on with Elon Musk, you're lying. If you're breathing, if he's breathing, he's lying. John Madden had a saying about this legendary receiver, Hall of Famer Randy Moss. He would say, if you run it with Randy Moss, if he's even, he's leaving. And for Orange Hitler, if he's breathing, he's lying. So I digress. So today, what's in Project 2025? Let's talk about what it would mean for law enforcement. Because Mr. 45 has said that he wants to give police officers complete and total immunity. Even if they engage in misconduct, murder, doesn't matter. Now, I already have something called qualified immunity, which means that you cannot personally sue a police officer. Like Derek Chauvin, who murdered George Floyd, who's in jail right now. The Floyd family couldn't sue and go after like Derek Chauvin's pension or like his house or his personal assets, money. They have to sue the city, the police department, the county, which is weird. So why should taxpayers have to pay? Because an employee who they pay with their tax dollars engages in misconduct or worse. I've had that conversation. I digress. Well, Project 2025 says, forget that. We want to give police complete and total immunity. Now, what would that mean? That would mean that 36-year-old Sonia Massey, you've heard a lot about that story. She was the mother of 2 teenagers in Springfield, Illinois. She thought she heard a prowler. She called the police. She called the police for help. The police showed up, and what happens after the police come into her home, a former police officer named Sean Grayson shot and killed Sonia Massey while she was sitting, laying on a floor with her hands up after she told Sean Grayson, because she must have picked up his evil demonic spirit. She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Then Sean Grayson actually walked around the counter to get closer to Sonia Massey. And while she was saying, I'm sorry, and apologizing for just rebuking the spirit that she felt or saw, he shot her 3 times, killed her. One shot went right through or under her eye. Also, you probably hadn't heard a lot about this. I hadn't heard a lot about it really till recently. So last August, by the way, what happened, Sonia Massey was killed July 6th of this year. So last year, August 24th, it was a 21-year-old woman named Takaya Young. So this really hit me because last year my daughter was 21. So Takaya Young, a 21-year-old woman who was 25 months pregnant, was accused of shoplifting at a store in Ohio. I guess store employees, somehow they contacted police. The police encountered this 21-year-old woman. They tell her, and I just can't watch the video, but if you want to see it for yourself, so you don't have to take my word for it, you can see the actual video. It's up all over social media. These 2 police officers yelling, cussing at her, telling her to get out. She's afraid for her life, obviously, and for good reason. So one of the police officers, Officer Connor Grubb, gets in front of her car, and the car, as Takaya Young is trying to get out of a parking space, and the officer, Connor Grubb, gets in front of the car, and he shoots her once, like point blank, through the windshield, and killed her. So recently he was charged with murder, involuntary manslaughter, and a charge called felonious assault. But let's go back to Project 2025. In that world, Sean Massey, who was charged with murder, wouldn't be charged with murder. Nothing would happen to him. No justice for Sonia Massey or her family. And in the case of Takaya Young, nope, the murder and manslaughter and felonious assault charge that Connor Grubb received from a grand jury in Ohio, where the killing happened, nothing, wouldn't get any of those charges. Would just go on about his business. No justice for Takaya Young or her family. So that's very concerning, which leads me to my guest, and I want to get his take about things like this and what he plans to do if he's elected sheriff. What are some of his top priorities, and what he can do to help restore confidence, not just, I guess you could say in general in the community, but specific in our community, because for decades, going on centuries, there's just been tension, and the way law enforcement has dealt with the black community has been different than it has been for any other community, specifically the white community. Black and brown communities have been dealt with differently. This is not my opinion. There's data. You can do any kind of Google search or search engine you want to use. There's historic data of discrepancies, and all the way back to the origins of local police departments, which came out of what they call slave patrols. We talked about it on this show. So is it training? Is it the system itself? Is it broke? How can it be fixed? You talk about improved training and sensitivity training, but how do you train someone to have compassion, humanity, and empathy? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that this man has answers, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. He's got an incredible story. He is running, like we said at the beginning of the show, to be the next sheriff, Charleston County here in South Carolina. I want to welcome a dear good friend of mine, and just really a brilliant brother, and who I have watched the way he's been moving for many years, who is completely committed to the community, really all communities, including our own community. I've been honored to be doing, or to have done, many community events, speaking with young people, supporting, mentoring young men, or just supporting young people in terms of going back to school and so much more. You see him on camera, ladies and gentlemen, that handsome dude with the beautiful smile, even though you don't see it. There it is. There's that $10 million smile. Brother Alan Ali. Brother Ali, man, welcome to the show, man. I'm so excited. I've been working on this. We've got mutual friends we talked about off camera, and I've watched the way you move from afar, and just admire the way you've moved, and just your commitment to the culture and the community in general, but specifically to our culture and community, giving back and mentoring. We had the honor to be part of an all-day panel seminar, Boys to Men. Shout out to Butch Kennedy, where we just poured into the young men. We gave advice, wisdom. We learned a lot because we listened to them, and you gave it a very powerful speech. And I was really impressed. And I think I mentioned it to you, even though it was late in the day and I know you had to run. So I want to thank you to the show. So if you don't mind, Brother Alan Ali, if you don't mind starting off for the viewers who may not be familiar with you, watching you from all over the world. That's what I love about my YouTube channel, stream it live all over. Just give us your backstory and tell us who Alan Ali is and what led you to where you are now, running to be the next sheriff of Charleston County here in South Carolina.
Well, first and foremost, Mr. Jones, sir, thank you so much. It's like an honor and privilege to be on your show. I mean, I can't even believe it. I'm making my parents so proud. My name is Alan Ali. I'm running for Charleston County Sheriff. I have a 30-year law enforcement career. My career started off in Dallas, Texas. I was a police officer in Dallas, Texas for 6 years before moving to Charleston, South Carolina in 1997. Worked for the City of Charleston Police Department for about 8 months. And then for the last 25 years, before retiring in December last year, I was with the Charleston County Sheriff's Office. And my career has, with the Sheriff's Office, has been with patrol. I've been on the SWAT team. I was work court security. I worked civil process, but I think the bulk of my career, and people really remember me, was I was for 11 years. I was a special deputy United States Marshal, working for the federal government. In fact, I always say this date, February 26, 2009. I was actually shot in the line of duty. Yeah, forgave the shooter, rehabbed, and I came back. I've been a patrol sergeant. I've been a narcotics sergeant. I've been an internal affairs inspector and a patrol lieutenant. But ever since I arrived in Charleston in 1997, I was running the old Cooper River Bridge for police charities and Special Olympics. 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon, you name it. I've done it. Grace of God, all for charity. In fact, this Saturday, Coach DA has a 5K walk and run in Park Circle, and my team, Run Ali, will be participating in that this Saturday. So for me, I've always been, in the last 25 years, I've always been in tune, in touch, and engaged with all facets of the community throughout Charleston County, no matter what zip code you may fall under.
So, Brother Allen, if you don't mind, let's go back a little further. When I say give us your origin story, where'd you grow up, and who were some of your influences when you were young, and what influenced you when you were as a kid, teenager, to want to go into law enforcement? I'm sure there's an incredible story behind it.
Right. Now, first of all, I'm first generation American. My parents are born in the Caribbean. The majority of my family are from the Caribbean, Montserrat, Antigua, Barbados, Jamaica, and what have you. So, but I was born in Boston and grew up in Boston. And I think the influences for me would be my mother and my father, where they raised me. And they always told me this, and I always let the audience know this. No matter what race, religion, culture, ethnicity, all of us want to be loved, appreciated, and valued. So they always instilled that value system in me. And they always said, Alan, whenever you meet someone, or wherever you may be, don't treat them like they want to be treated. Treat them better. And I was like 10 years old, and I told my dad, treat them better. What if they don't treat me better? And he said, son, that has no bearing on you.
Wow.
So that was always my parents, my mother and my father. The other influencer, obviously my last name Ali, was Muhammad Ali. And he said this, he said, service to others is the rent that you pay for having a room here on earth.
Yes.
So for me, law enforcement, community service, it was service to others. Again, regardless of someone's race, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, it was being of service to others. So at really early age, early teens, 17, I was in the city of Boston, the inner city of Boston, keeping kids away from gangs, drugs, and so on. So trying to inspire them, go on to college and so on. So now I'm just 17 years of age. And then I had a good fortune. I applied to University of Massachusetts in Boston, and the folks there at UMass Boston recognized the work I was doing in the inner city of Boston. And I was the first African-American to receive the Michael Ventresca Scholarship, which was based upon my community service in the inner city of Boston. So I'm 17, 18 years old.
Wow.
40 something years later, I'm still being of service to people. Now people say, well, how'd you get into law enforcement? How did that jump into that? Well, as I'm at UMass Boston and I'm doing different things in and around the university and still in the community, I always say to people, it started off with a song. It started off like this. Bad boys, bad boys. And Mr. Jones, I saw that show. Mind you now, back in the day, you had to watch it then. You couldn't, there was no YouTube, you couldn't go back, you had to watch it like that night. So when my
Or
friends are going,
recorded, back in the, I don't know if it was back in the day with the DVR, the DVRs where you could set it to record the show.
no, no, the VCR.
Yeah, I mean the VCR. I
VCR,
meant to say
right?
the VCR,
Exactly,
not the
exactly.
DVR. Yeah.
So right, so but I couldn't afford that, so I watched it. My friends like, come on, now we're going out. Like, no, I want to watch this. So I just got hooked with that. Now you got to understand during the time, uh, early '90s, if you would, it's who you knew. So even though I had the grades and so on and so forth, and I tested, Boston Police, State Police, it's who you knew. I was not McMurphy. I just leave it off like that. So although I tested well, they were like, no, no, we'll put you on the back list. Well, the city, I also applied to the city of Dallas. I didn't know a soul in it. That's the truth. I didn't know anyone in Dallas. And I applied and I flew to Dallas. I tested. They saw that I had, college background, which this is very interesting. This was really the beginning of law enforcement reaching out to college graduates. Why? Because they had this wonderful thing, Mr. Jones, called, I don't know, you may have heard of it, a computer.
Yeah.
Or there was a terminal. And they were going to put this wonderful thing in you may have heard of it, a police car. And they wanted somebody to like operate it. Well, the good old boys didn't know how to do it. So they were asking for college graduates with clean records to come there, train, become Dallas police officers. And really, that was really the beginning of anything. So I was really at the outstart. So I flew off to Dallas, made good friends, and for 6 years, I was with the Dallas Police Department. And then, like I said, last 25 years, total years, a little bit over 30 years law enforcement, 25 years with the sheriff's office. So just being of service to people, that's really the key ingredient. All people.
So you've seen an evolution, the whole evolution in law enforcement with body cams and dash cams and all of that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And guess what? I think it was my second or third day as a rookie with my training officer was the Rodney King verdict.
Wow.
And Dallas County, city of Dallas was on fire. I mean, it was just something else. And I was like thrown into that mix. And also the crime rate in Dallas. And people looked it up in 1991. The crime rate in Dallas, it was 500 murders. So all this, I was thrown into the mix, early on in my career. But I think one of the most fortunate thing was in 1993, the Dallas police, as well as other agencies, really began community policing, strangely enough, to reach out into the community because of the Rodney King situation and so on and so forth. And that's I found my niche. I started going back into the community, going to these schools, to the DARE program, talking to individuals, much like I did when I was in Boston. And here we are, flash forward, with the sheriff's office. Last 25 years, that's all I've done.
So if you don't mind, Alan, I want to segue because you gave me a great, I guess, launching off pad or to a segue. Earlier, I was talking about what the story about Sonia Massey, the mother of two that was shot by the police officer who was charged with murder in Springfield, Illinois. Recently, it has kind of been brought to the public's attention, a story about a young woman named Takaya Young, 21-year-old. And that kind of hits me because this incident happened a year ago. A year ago, my daughter was 21. She's 22 now. And this 21-year-old young woman, African-American woman, was 25 weeks pregnant and was accused of shoplifting and in anything interaction. And she was shot and killed by a Franklin County, Ohio police officer. So the question is, and I'm, in a way, it would kind of speak to, I guess, your overall, I don't want to say management style, or just in terms of how you see law enforcement and how better to deal with our community. Because there's no secret that the relationship between law enforcement and the African American community, black and brown community, is very complicated, and it's been complicated for decades. And having been inside the belly of the beast, as some would say. How would
Right.
you, um, how would you, how would you deal with that to somehow garner trust? Because I'm sure you know better than me, because you are all about working with the community. You literally got the receipts and you've done it. So even
Yes,
how
sir.
would you transfer the trust that the community has in someone like you? How do you transfer that through an entire, not just department, but just an institution, which may be unfair because I mean, an institution is so large. You got what, over 18,000 police officers. But I guess you could just kind of, we could kind of reduce it down to here, which I guess speak to your leadership style or vision for the job of a sheriff.
Yes, sir. Well, if anything, excellent question. If anything, there has to be a direct communication between law enforcement and the community. And law enforcement has to understand this. We work for and with the community. It's not the other way around. Really the last 25 years is a pandemic of my career. And one of which is very simple, but for some law enforcement officers, very complex. It's about getting out the comfort zone. The comfort zone is that police car. Get out and talk to the public. Get out and walk a school. Get out and be a part of the community. This is something I've been to town hall meetings. I've been to numerous 5K runs, community oriented runs, turkey giveaways, but it's even beyond a turkey giveaway or a national night out. And let me be clear, those things are good. Toys for tots, I'm all for it. So I want to be clear on that. I don't want anyone to say, oh, this guy right here, he's trying to get rid of toys for tots. No. What am I saying is on January 2nd, what happens? What do you do then? You still should be, as a law enforcement officer, you are a guardian first and a warrior second. That's the approach we need to take. And as a guardian, you need to talk to the people in the community. And sometimes all of us, especially law enforcement, because so many different things happen to us. We have to learn and sometimes unlearn some things insofar as communication with the community. But it's imperative that we get out of a police car. It's a very, very simple level. And engage with people. Here's a pointed fact. I've traveled throughout Charleston County from McClellanville to Edisto and so on and so forth. And I go to these different events with young people and such. And I always ask the question, now I show up. Actually, have you seen law enforcement show up? I go, no. Have you seen they drive by? Now, God forbid, if a fight breaks out or the music's too loud, now they come in. No, law enforcement needs to take the opportunity. Right, they had a bag giveaway. Get out your patrol car, walk and talk with people. See, that fosters understanding and trust.
Yes.
It begins right there. But you have to have the right type of leader. See, Mr. Jones, everything rises and falls on leadership.
Yes.
There's no getting around that. So therefore, if the deputies don't see the leaders engaging in the community on a consistent basis,
Okay.
we're going to go back again, like I said, not the toys for tots, and then they disappear, or a bad giveaway that they did. No, consistent. Once the leaders are doing it consistently, then for law enforcement, it removes itself from being transactional and it becomes transformational. See, as a candidate for sheriff, I'm transformational because I've worked with other agencies, but most importantly, I've worked with numerous organizations throughout Charleston County, working with them, helping and supporting them on their causes.
If elected, I'm sure you probably have, if they're like top three things that you want to accomplish as sheriff, or maybe it's one big one is you get to decide, but they're usually like maybe three main things that people want to accomplish or more. It could be more, but if they're like the three main things that you are determined to achieve and to get done if elected sheriff of Charleston County,
Yes,
what
sir.
would those be?
That's it.
And
Yes,
what
sir.
was really because I like to call this like the barbershop segment where we are in the barbershop at the beauty salon. I'm sure you probably get this question a lot. Well, why do you want, why do you really want to be sheriff? I'll let you speak to all that.
Right. And again, it goes back to being of service to people. One of the number one things I do, and my wife always says, speak into existence. When I become sheriff, if anything else, I'm going to have a conversation with my deputies and my personnel. We're going to have this conversation. So whether the surrounding agencies can answer calls for us for that given 30 minutes in an hour, we're going to have this conversation. And in this conversation, I'm going to ask them, I'm going to do some soul searching. Why did you come into the job? Why did you? If they say, oh, I want to help someone, what does that all entail? It's so ambiguous. Again, sir, I'm not going to put a square peg in a round hole. I'm not. But I have to let them, they need to do some soul searching because the community, we work for and with the community. So therefore, we have to truly engage with them. And when I have a conversation with my deputies, I'm also talking about my command staff as well, that they are also responsible to going out. Just because you've made a rank of chief deputy or major or captain, depending where you work, obviously, if you work in narcotics and you work in internal affairs, that's different. But it's nevertheless patrol and so on. You can still go to a community meeting. It doesn't stop you from doing that. So number one, I have to let the troops know that we are going to fully engage the community. There's no getting around it. And if you feel like, you know what, I'm not really into that thing, that's touchy feely, I want it to be my patrol car looking all rough and tough and whatever, then I'm not the sheriff for you. And certainly Charleston County Sheriff's Office, when I'm become sheriff, that's not the agency, if anything. Number two, on a financial aspect, sir, I'm going to audit the agency. I got to know where the money went, where the money's going, okay? Because I'll be inheriting someone else's baby, if you will. So I got to be smart with that. And then number three, the policies got to be reviewed. These policies need to be reviewed. Case in point, some time ago when my last year is right there in internal affairs, and the new sheriff came in. And if you recall, that gentleman was lynched in the jail. They gassed him.
Oh,
Right.
my God, yes.
Right, exactly. Well, the policy that were in place was that you have to extract this guy out for a bond hearing that they could do on video. Right. So we have to review these policies. Right. So those 1, 2, 3. And for me, coming out of internal affairs, knowing the agency, the rules and regulations in that regard, that is key. That is so key.
Well, Alan, it sounds like either your mom, like my mother's watching me live right now. She watches every day. She's my #1 fan. And my executive producer, and gets on me when she says I get a little too potty mouth, like I was on Monday, having fun talking about USA basketball, the men's and the women's team, and what the show that Steph Curry put on, or my grandparents. I was speaking to existence. Gene Jones and Conway Jones would always say. I can hear my grandmother Jean Jones, who I'm named after now, she would say, Jeannie, speak it into existence. You got to speak it into existence. You got to name it and claim it.
Amen.
So when you said that about with your wife, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, maybe her, we might be related. Sound like she had the same kind of grandmother that I had.
I tell you what, I'm married up. My wife, Ayantha Ali, she's a graduate from Burke High School and Benedict College. I'm married up. She's the brains behind the operation.
Yeah, I got lucky too. As they say, I'll kick my coverage. I got lucky too. So I'm still trying not to screw it up. I think God has just had favor on me and felt sorry for me and like saved me between God and my mother, saved me from myself. So that's a whole different conversation for a different show.
Yes, sir.
So you are running as a write-in candidate. So I want you to spend some time to explain to everybody how they can do that. Now, early voting, I did some research today here in Charleston County, South Carolina, begins October 21st.
Right,
Election
exactly.
day is November 5th.
Right,
But you are a write-in candidate.
right,
That's a challenge in itself.
right,
But another pearl of wisdom, my grandfather would say, he would say, Jeannie, you do what you want to do when you want to do it bad enough. So
right.
obviously that you subscribe to that theory because a lot of people would feel that as a writing candidate, it is too daunting of a task, but
Right.
it can be done. How
Right.
bad do you want to
Exactly.
do it? So I'll let you speak to that and let everybody know in terms of it sounds simple to write in, but sometimes people may not know exactly where they need to find the part on the because now everything is like an electronic ballot
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
actually write your name in. So and then they say, well, do I have to write? You know, my penmanship is bad. So why don't you explain that process to everybody?
Okay. Well, first of all, Nelson Mandela said it best. He said it's always impossible until someone does it,
Yes,
and
say
many
that.
people have done it. And for me, faith is necessary for victory, and I have complete faith in myself and my team. Okay, so how do we get here? Like, how did Alan Ali become a writing candidate? Well, first and foremost, um, prior to the certification on April 5th of this year, uh, I said that I was going to run for Charleston County Sheriff, and I'm a very moderate Democrat. Okay, and I'm not left, I'm not right, sir. I'm in the middle, if you would. And I approached the Democratic Party, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna run. And, okay, that's great and everything. And I thought, okay, everything's pretty straightforward. I just named you all the my qualifications there, impeccable record, and so on and so forth, and always in the community, and great. And the next thing you know, I get this phone call 2 days before the certification, and the Democratic Party said, we're challenging your residency. That's where it all started.
Wow.
And I thought, residency? Okay, no problem. So we did a Zoom call, and I already emailed them the documents. I said, no, folks, I moved into my apartment 1 year prior to the general election, November 5th. I abide by the rules. So October, whatever that day was, of the year before, it's all done. In fact, I sent you my driver's license. I sent you a copy of my lease in my apartment. And I sent you the State Farm insurance. Everything is all provided. And guess what? I sent you my voter registration. And I just voted in the primary. So there it is. I don't know what else is. I was ready to click off the Zoom deal. And then they went into the taxes on your property and the other property owned in Dorchester County. And I thought, wow, what does that have to do with anything? Honestly, I'm looking at this form, if you would, and it doesn't say anything about that. And then I talked to him about that, and I said, no, my taxes are paid in escrow. I don't owe any taxes. Thank God my credit score is 830. I'm great. Like, what's going on here? They couldn't get me on that. So they went for the catch-all. They said, oh, Mr. Ali, you consider a Democrat, but you vote Republican. I said, no, I vote split ticket. See, I vote the person, not the party. If a person who's making sense now on the other side of the aisle, who's doing things in the community, and I recognize that, I vote for her. If a person is doing something in the community and doing what they're supposed to do on the other side of the aisle, I vote for him. I vote split ticket. Well, that was not good enough. They said, oh no, we don't blah, 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 blah. And they said, no,
Wow.
we're not going to certify you.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, my supporters were shocked because when I spoke to other Democrats, they said, we vote split ticket like all the time. Like, what's the big deal? In fact, it was funny because when I went to a couple of the Democratic, whatever functions they had, they were talking about bipartisanship. We should work and we should, what is going on here? But the truth of the matter is they already hooked their caboose onto the current sheriff, and they're going to write it off into the sunset. That's all it was. It was a smoke screen. Okay, so like Muhammad Ali would say, it's not the getting knocked down is bad; it's the staying down. I said, oh, no way. There's no way in the world because I actually had, other people. No, don't quit, Mr. Ali. Keep going. So I said, we're going to court with this to force them to have me on the ballot, the June 11th primary ballot, because my supporters were growing from Hollywood to east side of Charleston and Edisto Island, North Charleston, all over. They were like, we want to vote for you. We want fundamental change. We've seen you've been in the community the last 25 years. So they said this court date gets better. They said, okay, Mr. Ali, I have my lawyer. And he said, your court date was Friday at noon, courtroom 4D. We have an outer county judge who'll be hearing the case, the Democratic Party versus Alan Ali. I was, okay, great. Friday at noon. Friday at noon. So through social media, I let my followers know Friday at noon, and I wanted them to come to the courthouse, not to be disruptive. Let's be clear on it. It was clergy, community leaders. Come to the courtroom. Don't hear it from me, please. Listen to this evidence that the Democratic Party has against me. And let me pause right there. When I say the Democratic Party, I'm talking about all, a certain segment who had it out for me. I want to be clear on it. All right, great. Friday at noon, Friday at noon, Friday at noon. Well, at 9:02, I still have the text message. My attorney texted me and said, you need to be here at 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, what happened? They changed the time. You need to be here at 10. So mind you, I'm in North Charleston. I got to get dressed. My wife's getting dressed. She's fixing her hair. We're driving. We get through traffic. We park in the garage. We finally get to the door, courtroom 4D. There's a bailiff, myself, my mother-in-law, my wife, and like two other people from the community trying to, set something out to Facebook with them. We got to the door, courtroom 4D, and I was met by a bailiff. And I told him, hey, Mr. Bailiff, I'm the plaintiff in this case, this action here. I need to go inside there, sit with my attorney. So, and the bailiff said, no. I said, okay, sir, I need to, no, he said, the judge said, once the doors are closed, only the press, the Democratic Party, and the attorney was supposed to be inside there.
Wow.
And I said, okay, well, sir, trust me, I used to work court security. I get it. But I am the plaintiff. I think I should be sitting next to my attorney. When they say something, I do a post-it note. This is not true, whatever. No, sir, I can't let you in. And that's the truth. I was not allowed to hear anything.
Jeez.
Right. Now, people said to me, well, Ali, you should have, forced my way in? You imagine Alan Ali running for sheriff, and he pushes down an 80-year-old bailiff. No. He's an angry black man. Right. No, that's not the way I was raised. So I sat outside there. They had their thing. They came outside, and days later, the judge sided with the Democratic Party, saying it's their rules, their regulations.
Wow. Was your attorney, Alan? Sorry to interrupt, but I just want to get a greater understanding. Was your attorney at least allowed to go in and represent you?
He was in there.
Okay, he was already in. I got you.
Yeah, he was already inside there.
I got you.
He was already inside there. But clearly, I wanted to be there next to him. When they say,
like you said, I'm the plaintiff. This is all about me.
Right, exactly. And so, right, so that happened. And I said, wow. Well, I tell you what, I said, I was really, kind of like anyone else, kind of getting kind of within myself. But it goes back to what I said a few minutes ago. It's not been being knocked down. It's the staying down. And I was not staying down. And I remember my wife and I were heading back, and the news started getting out, that I lost the court case. This is days later. And I got a phone call. I still know who called. And the person was like, hey, Mr. Ali, I heard, you lost in, the court case, and what you gonna do? And before I could really answer, the guy said, don't you quit, Mr. Ali, because see, you don't remember me, but I was in a pretty bad way. And it was some gathering, and you sat and you talked to me, and you talked me out of doing things that I had no business doing. And I never forgot that. Wow. And I was pulling for you so bad, because we need people like yourself in that position. Please don't quit. That was it. That was the end of the conversation.
Wow. Wow.
Right. And then from then onward, people started calling me and said, well, Ollie, we have to write you in. And I've heard about those things because the Democratic Party said you can't run as a Democrat. They essentially forced me out the party. So I'm independent. Okay, from this duopoly, if anything. Now here's the kicker. The $6,000 I gave to the Democratic Party, they refuse to refund the money back to me.
Wow.
I've emailed them, we've called them, my attorney sent them letters. I just sent them another crickets.
Well, listen.
Their rules say if you're not qualified, that's it. Okay, then return my money.
Wow.
They won't do it.
Well, listen, going forward, because I know that you're a busy man, I've probably taken up more time than I should have or was supposed to, but you got such a compelling story. So before you get out of here, please explain to everybody the procedure. Once again, here in Charleston County, South Carolina, early voting begins on October 21st. Election day is November 5th. I always say don't wait until November 5th. Anything could happen and we could get another tropical storm. Vote early as you possibly can. Explain to everybody the procedure, how to make sure they can find your name on the ballot when they go vote. And those who want to learn more about your campaign, who want to support your campaign financially, give us all your social media contact information, your website, or any other social media information, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever.
Mr. Jones, you're stellar. Thank you for bringing that up. First of all, the write-in, my name will not appear under that. Thank you for bringing it up. What's going to happen? You have to write me in. What does that entail? That means that when you walk into the booth, don't vote straight ticket. If you vote straight ticket, it nullifies the write-in vote. So go vote, whoever you choose.
So say that again. I want to make sure that people get that.
Yeah,
because that's so important. And that's the very first step that would trip up a lot of people who historically have probably voted straight tickets. So make sure, please, I want you to say that again so people can really not hear it and receive it and understand, even though I will have you back on. This will not be a one and done, so you will be back on. You have a permanent home here on this show. But I just want you to repeat that again. The very first step, which might be the most important step, is to make sure that they don't vote a straight ticket. But explain that again, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I want people to vote, please. This is your civic right to do so. But don't vote straight ticket. If you vote straight ticket, it nullifies the write-in process. Okay, you vote straight ticket for a D or an R, it's over. Now, if you go vote who you choose. But when you get to the sheriff's office portion, it's going to say R person. It's going to say D person. Their names are going to be on the ballot. And then it's going to say write-in. So listen to these steps. You have to click on write-in. Take your finger, click on write-in, and a magical keyboard is going to appear, just like a text message. And you type my name in. That's when we say write, but type is interchangeable, obviously. Alan, Ali, and you hit accept. That's it.
Okay.
That is the process. If anything, for early voting ballots, of course, you could physically write my name in and then submit your ballot. But even in the writing process, if you choose to put Ali, A-L-I, accept, it's accepted because I'm the only write-in candidate. This election is so important. Why am I saying that? Politics should play no role in public safety. Yeah. Mr. Jones, if I pulled you over on a traffic stop, I don't say driver license, registration, political affiliation. I don't do that. So why are we playing this game? I'm not playing the game. I'm not a parrot or a surrogate to any political party. I'm beholden to the people, not politics. So the write-in vote essentially is the closest you're going to get to a nonpartisan vote for that office itself. So I urge people, again, back to the write-in. you're not going to see my name. So do not vote straight ticket. Choose Congress, president, but when you get to the sheriff's office portion, touch write in. Keyboard appears. Type my name in. Hit accept, and you cast your vote. I'm the only write-in candidate there.
And it's real simple, everybody. It's just like sending a text message. Alan, A-L-A-N, Ali, A-L-I. And it's easy to spell. It ain't like he got like 7 or 10 vowels. Well, there we go, right there.
Yeah.
Hold it up,
Right.
and there you go. There you go. Hold it up, there you go. Alan Ali, right there, everybody. There you go. Right there on camera.
Right.
So those who want to learn more about your campaign or
Sure.
who would like to donate or volunteer, let us know, let them know where they can go and where
Exactly.
everybody can follow you on social media.
Well, I tell people all the time, the last 25 years, and really just last year, I had social media. I'm social. I'm not really social media. But having said that, you can find me on Facebook, Alan Ali. So send me a friend request. I'm still learning this process. Again, Mr. Jones, you know how I go. I'm more social. I talk to people. I'm out and about in the community occasionally, but nevertheless, uh, Alan Ali on Facebook. And then my website, which is very important,
Yes.
Ali for Sheriff. Why is it so important? Because that's where you could donate. Donate, donate. Whatever you can afford, donate. You go to the donate page of Ali for Sheriff.
Now,
And also,
now, Alan, let me jump in. So I want to make sure we got it right. So for the viewers,
Yes, sir.
Alan, the word for or the number 4?
for, the word for.
Okay.
Yeah, Ali for Sheriff. And guess what? On the website, there's an instructional video on how to do a write-in vote.
Great.
1 minute long. There's a video. It can't get any easier than that. And then, of course, the last, you can always reach me. If anyone wants to email me, please, Alan Ali at bellsouth.net. ALANALI at bellsouth.net. And all my emails go to my, my mobile devices. You can reach out to me that way. We need help. We need donations. We need volunteers. We're going to make history. We just have to make history a different way.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of history. As a matter of fact, I know I am truly speaking it into existence, not just speaking it into existence. I'm naming and claiming. There's going to be a lot of history made this fall in November, on November 5th, and even before that with early voting. So you have a permanent home here on my show, on my platform, on my channel. May God continue to bless and have favor on you, your family, and your campaign. Stand 10 toes down, as the kids say, on your truth, because I can hear my grandmother saying, Jeannie, the truth needs no defense. She said, you could set the truth on the table and walk away. It ain't gonna change. Folks may want to change it. Folks may not like the truth, can't handle the truth, don't want to hear the truth, but the truth needs no defense.
And the truth is, I'm the people's sheriff.
Wonderful. Alan Ali, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, you have a permanent home, so we will see you again in the future.
Absolutely.
Before, as a matter of fact, hopefully before early voting, so we can get that word out again. Those who want to learn more and who want to donate to the campaign or maybe volunteer, give us the website again.
It's aliforsheriff.com. Please, or just send me a friend request through Facebook, Alan Ali, or email me directly, alanali at bellsouth.net. And you want to see me in person? I'm always out in the community. I'll be out there in Park Circle this Saturday, running a 5K.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. And it's Ali, it's Ali, ALIFOR, Sheriff, for Sheriff.
Exactly. Yes, sir. .com. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, brother Alan Ali. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you again in the future.
Yes, sir. I thank you for the gift of your time.
No, well, thank you. Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
He's a good man. I got to do something real quick here. Thank you. I want to thank, here we go. I'm back on camera. Bam, here we go. Thank you, Alan Ali, for coming on, man. Got a compelling story. Just really a good man. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life as always. God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Show, the Geno Jones Show, live, Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles, right here on the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel, streaming live. And if you miss it, you can go to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel and watch all my back episodes. Tell everybody you know to subscribe. I got a new subscribers goal. Next 60 days, which is going to be right around October, because October is going to mark the 4th year anniversary of the Geno Jones Show. So make sure you tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, screen grab, rip some video, record some of the video from the show, snatch it up, screen grab it, chop it up, and put it up on your platform. Let's make it go viral. Chop it up, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, the whole damn show. I don't care how you do it. You've got my blessing. Shout out to all my influencers. I have some business for you, so reach out to me at my Gmail account, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. So influencers, reach out. I'm looking to work with some really talented influencers who have a pretty big reach. And if you'd like to be a sponsor or an advertiser, we would love to have you to be part of the Geno Jones Show family. Reach out to me, Geno Jones Show, that's how you spell it, on Gmail. And once again, tell everybody you know to subscribe, screen grab, like, binge watch all my back episodes, and to leave your comment for every episode. Let me know what you think. Like, love it. Ain't really feeling it. Whatever you got to say, don't be afraid. Say it with your full chest in the comment section. And when we are on live, if you got a question for me or any of my guests, please join the conversation. My mom is usually in the starting the conversation in the chat room like she's doing today. I love you, Mother. And it looks like she said, beautiful story. He's a keeper. So, Alan, I'll leave you watching. My mother said if she was here, she was living here with me as opposed to Chicago, you'd have her vote. So she was very impressed. Once again, subscribe. Tell everybody you know to subscribe, share, screen grab, like, binge watch all my back episodes, and leave your comments. So we're going for 1,000 new additional subscribers in the next 60 days to kick off and celebrate the 4th year anniversary of this show on 5 days a week, and to go to that next YouTube partner level. So YouTube partner means that eventually, because I'm a YouTube partner now, first tier, but the second tier I'll be a YouTube partner where I'll start getting that big YouTube bag. So we're going for that Club Shay Shannon Sharp bag. So once again, please everybody, spread the word for me. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the Geno Jones Show. Thank you for supporting Black-owned media. It is important that we have Black-owned media because the general population, everybody else, they own media stories and media platforms. And it's so important because nobody can tell your story, our story, better than you or us. Nobody can tell your story better than you. And nobody's going to tell it right the way you can and will. And nobody's going to tell our stories better than us. As a matter of fact, they don't want to tell our stories. They're trying to ban history and books. So you know they don't want us to tell our true story, which is the story of this country, of America. Because you wouldn't have an America without black folks. You just wouldn't. So that's a whole different monologue. Or you can binge watch some of my back episodes because we talk about that on the regular. So thank you for watching, everybody. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, up in New York or down in Miami or over in Atlanta, 5:30 in Chicago or Houston or New Orleans, 3:30 p.m. tomorrow, live in Los Angeles or up in Seattle, the Bay Area, or in Portland, Oregon. Thank you for watching, everybody. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check him out and check He is a master barber, so you can check out his work, his artiste work. Just check out the cuts. That's what's called designer cuts. He's the CEO. Check him out on IG, Instagram, Kel Be Cutting Up. KELBECUTTINUP. Hally Jones is the drip director, as I like to say. She's the official wardrobe consultant and stylist. Bam, 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 bam for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her and her Lexi Jones collection. Fashion designer, a recent graduate of Columbia College Chicago, Bachelor in Fine Arts. She is future superstar, future fashion designer superstar. Check her and her Lexi Jones collection out right now at lx.ncl underscores, that low dash, lx.n like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi underscore. And now, since she's out of school, a lot of folks were reaching out to her. Yes, Hally Jones is taking consignment orders. So if you see part of her collection that you like, and if you'd like to have, one of her pieces, custom-made pieces, just contact her and DM her, leave her in her inbox on Instagram, lx.ncl underscore. And Mr. Bruce Gage, also wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show. You can check him out. The Mario Uomo collection, many of the places you see on the show, part of the Mario Uomo collection. Bam, 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 bam. So check him out. Just type in Mario Uomo. It's an Italian name, Mario Uomo. MARIOUOMO. MARIOUOMO. And also check out his Flyball line. Flyball, the store. Flyball is the officially licensed Negro Baseball League apparel retailer, I should say. Not so much apparel. He is the officially licensed retailer for the Negro Baseball League and the Negro Baseball League Hall of Fame. The Flyball collection, sweaters, got these varsity style jacket sweaters, shirts, ties, t-shirts, dresses for women, caps. So Flyball the store, FLYBALLTHESTORE.com. We'll see you live once again. Like I said, the next live edition is going to be Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Until then, go back and binge watch whatever you missed from this, any episode, and please leave your comments in the comment section and tell everybody, as my boy Nelly would say, tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Advertisers, sponsors, please become a part of the Geno Jones Show family. Reach out to me. And for my influencers, I've got some business for you too. Reach out to me, Geno Jones Show @gmail. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.